Dumbo Dap.
The Coatbridge Consortium is a community-led programme which includes various organisations from North Lanarkshire Council, the NHS Lanarkshire and the community and voluntary-led organisations, and their remit is to provide health and social care opportunities and support to individuals and communities throughout North Lanarkshire.
We meet to discuss the needs and aspirations of the local community and how we can work together to facilitate those needs and aspirations.
It's organisations from across Coatbridge that come along and share their experiences or their knowledges with everybody around the table.
Glenboy Development Trust is the host organisation and they lead on voluntary sectors and voluntary groups to participate within developing services and resources that are community spirited and community minded and led by the community itself.
I find the Coatbridge Consortium and the Community Solutions Programme is very, very important for bringing both sectors together. It's also important for linking out to the wider community and giving opportunities to local groups and residents within the community to access information and funds.
It's so community-led, the group, and it's not only the funding that they put out to other people, it's the support and advice, encouraging groups to take on new initiatives and supporting them through that.
We've developed a two-way referral system with the consortium, so organisations from the consortium refer people to our projects where necessary, and we are able to refer our participants to other organisations in the consortium.
And it's a really good place to find out what's going on in Coatbridge so that you're able to signpost, more specifically me, members to where there's support or activities going on, they can be part of their local communities.
It's about bringing people together, bringing heads together and getting that information back out into the community and making it flow in different ways.
Normality is something that
Normality is completely different from one person to the other.
The meaning of normality to me personally changes depending on how I'm feeling and what's happening within my life. But I think in all it's about being accepted and being understood. But again, having that acceptance, I've then got to accept other people's normalities.
Are any of us really normal? You know, we all have issues in our life, and I think, you know, going about your day and feeling at the end of the day you've had a good day, you know, you've come out to your work and you've had a good day, you put that face on, are we normal? Is that normality?
And you think back to a time when things were good and having like peace in your life and things going okay, that I think is what normality is. But that will be different for everybody.
Normality can be a really scary thing for some people because they don't feel as if they fit in, they don't feel as if they are normal. So that's really hard for them to overcome and try and see where they fit in normality.
I don't think I've ever really been entirely sure what the word normality means, and I think if there's anything that the past year has taught us is that there is no such thing as normal, and I think there's a real desire at the moment for things to return to normal, but I think it's worth thinking about what has changed and do we really want to go back to normal? Are there things that we can change and do better going forward, particularly with regards to mental health?
Under the normal circumstances, me and my wife and Teresa and her husband would like to go to the Merchant City for a meal and a drink, and we've seen that as normal. That normal has now been taken away from us due to the pandemic. So, as I say, my normal is completely different from other individuals. So it'd be very hard for me to scope and say what is normal, what is normality.
But for some people, being isolated, this is their normal. And I think we need to keep a hold of that, because we're all rushing to be back, to be doing the things we were doing pre this. There are people who might not want that because this is what they see as normal.
The word normal is maybe not the most helpful thing for people who are struggling with mental ill health, because I suppose the opposite of normal would be abnormal, and we all have mental health. So it's not abnormal to be struggling, you know, particularly in the face of adversity. So I think the word normal maybe isn't that helpful.
We still do have this stigma that people shouldn't have poor mental health, and the old way of looking at that was give yourself a shake and go on with it, and that doesn't really work.
Working with young people, we're always trying to promote it's okay not to be okay and encourage people to speak about the issues that they have. But I also think it's really important for the people that are in their lives as well to be aware of how to approach that.
We're not good at asking people how they feel. It's sometimes superficial, that we just say, how are you today? Fine, and that's all. It's maybe about we need to look deeper at people. We're all having flashes of it. It's arguing over something that doesn't need to be argued about. It's kind of flying off the handle with a remark that means nothing. Having arguments with your partner or your kids or whatever and thinking, well, why did you do that? And it's probably because you're feeling quite low at that time, but you don't know how to tell them. And I think sometimes people want to be strong because that's what people want, but they might be crumbling inside, and you know, so you get maybe people who are withdrawn and you know, but equally there's people who are at the other side that are lashing out, and they're lashing out because they don't know how to tell you.
We kind of get to know through word of mouth, you know, some people that are struggling. But what I've always said is that there are a lot of people isolating in our community that are suffering mental health, that can't speak out, that are isolated, and that we aren't reaching them. But I hope the message for mental health is getting out really far and wide for people to speak up, and for us as community representatives, for our staff and you know, volunteers, to just give people that extra word. You know, that extra, are you feeling okay? But not just are you feeling okay and they say yes, you know, it's the extra, are you really feeling okay? And I think that's where the groups that we link into through the consortium are good at doing that. The consortium provides services, resources and training for staff and people to be able to have the confidence to ask that question, how are you feeling, and fully understanding that they can get an array of answers back. Mental health and the arts. The arts is just so wide that it can support everybody and anybody.
I think it gives people the opportunity to escape and be around other people and share skills.
I do think the arts are helpful to preventing mental health issues, but I know there's a strong focus on, I really think there's a benefit for people that do suffer from mental health, that by doing the arts, whether that's painting, drama, singing, it helps them express their feelings.
As an art therapist, I'm quite biased in my opinion about whether the arts, you know, have a role to play within mental health, and I think they really have an incredibly important part to play in preventative work.
We have a long-standing adult art group in here. The difference in people's mental health and their wellness and their attitude being involved in that group, maybe only 2 hours in an afternoon, you see a different person walking in, a different person leaving, so I believe it's got a major role to play.
It's like no other thing I've seen. I've seen people come alive who maybe are, you know, a wee bit withdrawn or are quite anxious.
The reason that I trained to be an art therapist is because I'm also an artist, and I found the process of creating work really cathartic, and I wanted to share that with others. Words can sometimes fail us, and sometimes it's easier to express what we're feeling using other mediums, and so sometimes expressing what we've been through dance or movement or painting can be a far more effective way of harnessing what's gone on for us.
And it's about getting that opportunity, and I think again, going back to the consortium, that's what the consortium offers people. It offers opportunities.
Neighbourhood Networks are doing a class called Mind and Draw, And I'd done it, and it was really therapeutic for that hour. It was so peaceful, my mind was so peaceful.
Drama is a great way to support individuals, young people, well, people of all ages with mental health issues, because that allows them to express their feelings without being judged. And that can actually be done without speaking. You know, they can go in and express feelings just by movement.
The memory blanket that was put together by our village autumn group, I think it brought them together to talk about history, to talk about when they were young, to spend time together every week, you know, go home with their sewn and put together their little bit, you know, to put the memory blanket together.
We deliver participatory and therapeutic arts projects in a variety of mediums. We use felt making that you can see here, we use silk painting, we do film making, we run drama groups, we do creative writing, we do movement groups, we do all sorts of things. We also deliver art therapy and drama therapy by registered arts and drama therapists for those who are in need of a bit more in-depth support.
Probably the biggest one for us is the photography class. And it is so well received, and it ticks so many boxes. It's members get a task and they go out and they take photos and they forward it on, and it's put onto a slideshow and they all attend the class, and they have the opportunity to talk about why they took that photo and where they took that photo. And for some members that's massive, being able to come on to a forum and engage with other people.
I went through a situation like this personally myself over 10 years ago with a family member. During that time, she used poetry about her feelings, and then any bad feelings she had, she wrote them down. When she felt better, she would look back at them, and if she didn't have the feelings anymore, she would tear them up and put them in the bin. And that was a coping mechanism for her.
We have, in relation to dealing with children and young people, we have our AK dance, which has over 70-80 children who participate in music and dance, and we see the massive impact that makes in them and their mental health.
Willie put a grant in and funded AK Dance to work with the members, and they performed at the Airdrie Town Hall, and they absolutely loved it, and the confidence, they weren't shy, and I just think that's what the arts are bringing. It's giving people the confidence to do things that they wouldn't normally do.
I think often people are really nervous to come to a group. The idea can be really, really nerve-wracking of, you know, interacting with others, and there's something about creating artwork in which you can just lose yourself in the work, and that really takes the pressure off of interacting with others, and through that it kind of comes naturally. People can talk to others, you know, with this kind of container of something to do in front of them. It's about finding a creative community and being part of something that makes beautiful things together.
I think the consortium can move forward by increasing our membership and having more organisations and individuals aware of what we do and what we can deliver, and with a greater voice we can provide better services.
To me, everybody at some part of their life suffers from some kind of mental health issue and needs support, and there's groups out there that can support that.
I would be hoping that other organisations who I maybe don't know about but operate within Coatbridge come in and join us. Phone us up and join us.
And also the experience and knowledge of our service users, and harnessing that experience that they bring, because really they're the ones that know, you know, how services should best be run.
Maybe doing some stuff on social media for people who don't want to come out the houses, because that's okay as well, and allowing them to join things and be part of something where they're safe.
Coatbridge is an amazing community with so much talent. And I think what the consortium does really well is working together to empower people to embrace that creativity and that talent. I'd really like to thank the consortium for funding us and for supporting us and giving us the opportunity to work together to do the best that we can do. It's been a really hard year, and the consortium has been such an important part of making sure that our service can continue to provide what it does.